One of the most popular ornamental shrubs are boxwoods. Also known by the name Buxus outside the United States, boxwoods have become a bestseller for many growers over the past few years. The popularity of topiary plants has resulted in a production bottleneck, especially in countries like South Africa. This means nurseries that grow evergreen, perennial plants like Buxus can rely on steady sales year-round. This is especially important during the winter when sales of summer flowering perennials or annuals are at a minimum, allowing growers to even out income during quiet periods. In this video, we are going to take a look at how a commercial nursery grows boxwoods. The great thing about boxwoods is that they are easy to propagate from stem cuttings, so even if you don't have a nursery, with a little planning you can grow your own boxwood hedges for almost nothing compared to buying them from garden centers. Before we get started with the details of the production cycle, remember to download your copy of our Boxwood ebook. If you like what you see and hear, then make sure you subscribe and like this video. The support from our viewers helps us to keep making videos all about agriculture, plant production, animal husbandry, and lots more. Let's get started. Phase 1. Propagation. Boxwoods are most often propagated from stem cuttings. Make your cuttings about 7 to 10 centimeters or 3 to 4 inches long. It is very important that you do not get confused about which end of your cutting is at the top. To help keep all your cuttings right side up, remove the lower leaves and gently score the bottom of the stem as soon as you have removed them from the mother plant. Dip the scored ends into some rooting hormone to encourage rapid and even root development. Rooting hormones are available in a series of strengths, from low-strength options for softwood cuttings and higher strengths for hardwood cuttings. When it comes to Buxus cuttings, the medium to high-strength rooting hormones will work best. Place the cuttings into plug trays. These trays are filled with a cocoa coir and perlite mix that was slightly wet. In this case, the cuttings were kept in a misted propagation bed. Misted irrigation was applied for roughly 20 seconds every hour. For a detailed tour around this propagation unit, check out the video linked above and in the description. If you don't have access to such a unit, keep your cuttings in a bright, humid area. You can do this by using a clear container with water in the bottom with the lid slightly ajar. If you do use this system, keep your plants out of direct sunlight because the plastic will only increase the light and heat intensity and burn your cuttings. A note on royalties. If you are thinking of growing boxwoods in your nursery, you may need to pay royalties for some varieties. You will need to take this cost into consideration when you price your plants later. If you do not have a supply of mature boxwoods from which you can take your cuttings, then you can order plugs from suppliers. You can keep some of your new stock and allow them to mature in your nursery or purchase some larger specimens to eliminate the need to buy plugs on a yearly basis. If you are propagating for personal, hobbyist use, then you won't have to worry about any royalties. Phase 2. Hardening off and fertilizing. Depending on the season, adequate root development will be complete within 8 to 12 weeks. Even though these cuttings now have a root system that will allow them to survive without regular misting, they have acclimatized to the indoor, shaded propagation unit. They must therefore be reacclimatized to the outdoors before they can be repotted. To do this, the trays will move to shade nets like these, while the sprinklers here still go off more often compared to the rest of the nursery. The gradual decrease in water supply and exposure to the outdoor environment will increase the survivability rate when these cuttings are transplanted. At this time, a weak-strength fertilizer can be applied. The coir in which the cuttings were planted does not supply enough nutrients to sustain the cuttings once the roots have grown. Therefore, liquid applications will help supplement the nutrient requirement of the cuttings. Phase 3. Transplanting to smaller pots. After roughly 4 weeks of acclimatization, the boxwood cuttings are ready to be repotted into smaller plastic pots. You can check out the video linked above and in the description for our recommended potting mix. Many varieties of boxwoods are sensitive to direct sun and high temperatures. Therefore, even though they have been acclimatized, the boxwoods were kept under a shade net. This will help prevent the young plants from becoming too stressed and improve survival rate. At this time, factors like pest control can be implemented. In this nursery, a general contact pesticide is used to prevent infestations of mites, leaf miners and psyllids. Fertilizer concentrations can also be increased to encourage root and foliage growth. Nitrogen and phosphorus are the most important nutrients at this stage. Depending on your situation, boxwoods can be sold in their smaller pots. Once they have put on some growth, you can start marketing your plants. While smaller plants will sell for less than their larger specimens, you will have a faster turnaround and can possibly sell more plants if you market them in their smaller pots. This means your clients will likely be landscapers or other nurseries who have the space for them to mature further. Phase 4. Transplanting into bigger pots and topiary. If you want to sell your boxwoods for a higher price, you can wait for them to grow more and transplant them into bigger plastic pots. Like we mentioned, you can sell these specimens for a higher price. However, you must weigh up the investment required to house and nurture the bigger plants with the price you can receive for them. You can boost your asking price even more by trimming the boxwoods into topiary forms. As your plants will be more expensive, they will likely not sell on the same scale as the smaller pots. Therefore, you can expect your client base to change as well. Larger, more expensive varieties will usually sell on a smaller scale to retailers or home gardeners. And that brings us to the end of our video on how you can propagate and grow your own boxwood plants. Let us know in the comments which plant you would like us to focus on next. As always, remember to download your ebook before you go. Thank you for watching and we will see you in the next video.